This is CJ with CJOrtiz.com and MetalMotivation.com. This is the first of a new 5-message series I'm doing entitled Loving Yourself. Now, this is all being shown in my Life Domination online coaching program, and you can learn more about that if you visit the link below. All this week, loving yourself. Let me ask you a question. Do you think most people struggle with loving themselves? Well, the obvious answer is yes. People, for the most part, struggle with loving themselves. Now, do they hate themselves? Not necessarily. We know what self-hatred is like, right? The teenager who cuts themselves, the person who is constantly putting themselves down and sabotaging their own success, or worse. Now, you may not be to that level. You may not be to that extreme, engaging in that kind of self-hatred. But are you loving yourself? Well, you might say, CJ, do we really need people loving themselves anymore? I mean, do we need any more ego than we've already got? I'm not talking about ego. I'm not talking about stroking that ego. I'm not talking about making any one of us more selfish than we already are. That's not the kind of love I'm referring to when I say loving yourself. I'm referring to that unconditional kind of love, the one that a parent gives to a child, right? The one that a husband gives to a wife, or a wife to a husband. The one that good friends have with one another, family has with one another. The kind of unconditional love. I never loved my children with condition. They didn't have to fulfill certain conditions to make me happy, and then I would love them. I love them unconditionally. Why? Because love is greater than you and I, man. Right? What keeps the world together? What keeps us all together? How are we still here thousands of years later? Simple. Love, man. Love is what keeps things together. Without mother's love for kids and family's love for one another and our love for community and our love for one another and love for country and all of these things, man, we couldn't keep the world together. But love has been keeping things together long before you got here and long before I got here. Therefore, love is greater than us. Therefore, we have an obligation. We have a duty to love. We have a duty to offer to each other unconditional love. But you're never going to get there, man, until you first start loving yourself. Are you worthy of that love, or do you love yourself only conditionally? Do you have to fulfill certain things and do everything right before you give yourself that love that you deserve? You're never going to be able to provide the kind of love to others unless you first start loving yourself. You are too harsh sometimes with yourself. You speak too harshly, too condemnatory to yourself. You say things to yourself you wouldn't say to those you say you care about, man. Why the hell are you saying them to yourself? This is what loving yourself is all about. And as you go into the upcoming year, and as you begin to fulfill the duties and obligations and goals and things that you set out for yourself, man, let it be fueled by love. Let it be fueled by an unconditional love for yourself that you can extend to other people, so that you can become an agent and a conduit, man, of compassion and service and kindness, and that you learn to not be moved about whether other people are giving you that love, because you're doing it because it's the right thing to do. You're doing it because you have a duty to love. And that first step in your duty to love is to love yourself. So then let me ask you, what are you saying to yourself today? What have you been saying to yourself lately? Are you speaking harshly to yourself? Are you constantly putting yourself down? Are you holding yourself back from things that you'd love to have, things that you feel like you have the ability to do, but you just don't feel like you deserve them? That every day your life is held in this mock trial and you are both judge and jury and you always find yourself guilty? If that's the case, man, this series is for you. I want to empower you with that love. I want to empower you with that. The greatest force in the world can be operative in your life and turn you into something that is one of the most powerful influencers in the world, man. You can be that. You can be that agent of change where you are in your life. Your life can turn around, man. You can cast off the sadness. You can cast off the loneliness. You can cast off the struggle that you have relating to others when you first begin to love yourself. Can you dig that? I hope you can. That's what I'm covering all this week in Loving Yourself. Now, if you want to see the rest of these videos, you can see them in my Life Domination online coaching program. It's simple to do. Just visit the link below, metalmotivation.com/Life Domination Coaching. This is CJ, the Metal Motivator. And remember, in whatever you do, don't suck. Metal up.